Hey everybody, it's Wednesday already. God, it doesn't feel like Wednesday, but it is. it's getting towards the end of the week now. We can say that when you get to this time on a Wednesday, not necessarily from a guest today, but when it gets to 4 p.m. on a Wednesday, you can say it's getting towards the end of the week. And I'm here today talking to Billy Harvey. So let's take this down, and then, Billy, I can say hello to you. How are
Hey,
you?
Graham. Oh, I'm doing all right. Glad to be talking to you
Yeah.
on this. Do you call it Hump Day? They call it Hump Day over here.
Yeah. We call it a lot of things.
Yeah.
But basically, yeah, everybody does feel like
It's basically
once
like
you get over Wednesday, don't you?
Yeah, I'm on the downhill slope to the weekend.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. The dangerous slippery slope of, do you actually open a can of beer on the Wednesday, or do you wait till the Thursday when it's legitimate? You know.
Right. Less
You know?
guilt to be had.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and if you're really good, you wait till Friday.
Right.
So there you are.
Nah.
No. Well, I was just talking about your T-shirt.
Yeah.
A minute ago, because which is a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
Irish by marriage. You were saying that
Yeah.
this is your mother.
Yes.
Or a nod to your mother and her side.
Yeah. It's a nod to my mother. She was married to a man from Ireland. His name was Augustine Constable.
Oh, now isn't that a name?
Yeah,
they don't make them like that anymore.
Augustine Francis Constable, and he was a treasure, and they were quite a pair.
Wow.
And he was more like a dad to me than any of my my mom was married 4 times,
right?
So,
okay.
But he was my father, and he was so I can.
Augustine Francis
Irish stepsisters and brothers as well, because he had 6 kids. I think it was 6 with his first wife. So
wow.
Yeah.
And am I right in saying, I think you told me the other day when we spoke briefly, that it's your mother on the front cover of the album, the new album as well?
Yeah, I made like a mandala, because this record was what spurred the making of it was just, we're in such an intense time in the world right now, and it forced me to get real basic with my feelings and my instincts, and it almost like primal,
Yeah.
And I had just, it's not about it, but as part of the whole thing, I did lose my mother a year ago, and my stepfather two years ago, both like right around Christmas. So there was
sorry to hear that.
just all this. There was just all this weight in the pandemic and everything, and not being able to play music and tour, and I'm like, I just want to. I'm just gonna make a record without thinking about it, and just, I call it putting my foot on the monitor. Like, just own it. Just here it comes.
Yeah.
And so consequently, I made that record, and then I'm making the artwork, and I'm like, this is, I don't want to put too much meaning into it, but basically I needed to do this. And so for the artwork, I made a mandala of like my circle of life, and my, what some things that I treasure. One of them is a flying V guitar. And it's specifically the one that's on the cover. It's made with Carina wood, and when I was a kid, there was a music store I used to go to when I was like 13. It was called the Pick Stop.
Right.
And we used to go in there and hang out and just marvel at the guitars and dream about owning one. And they had that guitar hanging on the wall, and I've never owned one. I've owned 50 guitars, but I've never owned that one. But anyway, I put that on the cover, and then there was this painting that my mom had somebody had done when my mom was probably in her 20s, and I always kind of hated it because it was weird. It was like my mom, painting of my mom hanging on the wall, but she's in her 20s, and now it's so long ago. It's just like this beautiful woman, and so I put, you know, I took a picture of that and put it in the mandala, and you know, there's some elephants and, you know, whatever. It's doesn't mean everything, but it means something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny how you say that. Actually, you for years you hated it, but then now I guess it has a completely different resonance to it.
Yeah, I mean, but it just kind of creeped me out as a kid, because you don't want your mom staring at you the whole time.
Stop
you're
it,
already, yeah. But now, you know, now it's different. Yeah.
Yeah. That must be. I mean, it's a very beautiful painting. That's the thing. It is actually a really lovely painting.
It is.
I've seen it on your wall.
Yeah, you did.
When we spoke. So I can understand you. I can understand you putting it there. And I suppose if this is a personal record, then some of it's about where you came from as well, is it not?
Yeah.
You can't escape where you come from. That's the thing, is it? where you are now is where you came from. So,
and I've been in. That's a good question, and it is where I came from, but I've been really into, as much as I'm personally going through, I'm more interested in making music that is for the listener and not about me. So even though I'm going through a lot of stuff, just like we all are, so I made music to express it, but it's not really like, I have other records that are for you light some candles, get in the bathtub, and hear me complain. But this isn't that. This is more like about you, the listener. Of course, I'm in it because I'm writing the songs, and it's some of my perspective of how I see relationships, or what I'm going through, or what I see on the news, or
I get that.
Things like that. But I wanted it to be fun, and I wanted it to be able to be absorbed on a few different levels. And at the most surface level, you just put it on and have fun and have a dance party. If you want to dig into the lyrics, some of them go deep, but you don't have to.
Some of them go very deep, actually.
Yeah.
I was the one lyric that intrigued me most in the whole thing was about wanting to be in the White House, because
yeah,
because I don't know that I'd ever want to be in the White House. So I mean, where were you? What's the standpoint you were taking when you write that lyric? Are you seriously ever thinking about being in the White House, or is this more of a sort of a dreamer's dream, if you like?
Well, that particular line can be taken two ways, and one is just the stereotypical dream we're fed of the White House with the picket fence and everything in its place and no problems.
Yeah.
So it's like, right now I wish I had that,
Yeah.
But then it also is easily taken, and it was how it was meant to be taken as well. When I've been watching TV for 4 years, and watching this guy who, not just our ex-president, but a bunch of people in politics, in positions of power and privilege, just run over the people of the world and the surface of the world, indiscriminately and callously and selfishly. And I'm like, why do I have to be a good guy? Why can't I be I stopped myself from cursing.
Yeah, you did. Well done.
Why can't I be a bad guy and live in that house and just do I don't know what I would want to do, you know. But anyway, I was just like, kind of just
I think it's a really, it's an interesting concept as well, isn't it? I think when you see someone of that nature, shall we say, I'm being polite.
Yeah.
In that position of power in the White House and causing all of this stuff and actually getting away with it. You do. I guess, there's that element in everybody where you go, well, why, as you say, by being nice and good, am I not getting there? You know? And, and I think for some people, it may not be the White House, but, you know, in any walk of life, we all experience that from time to time. It might be in business, for example. We see the person that rips everybody else off succeeding, or the person that, you know, the person that's nasty to the rest of their family and friends getting somewhere. You just think, why?
Yeah. It's bizarre. It's not everybody is, but you see it, like, you know, does it takes a certain amount of ruthlessness to climb those ladders.
Yeah.
And it's not in my nature to be cutthroat and ruthless. Like, I can be strong. I can be definitive in my thoughts and actions, but it's just hard for me to be as ruthless as you need to be. And, you know, sometimes I wish I was a bad guy.
No, I don't. We don't want you to be a bad guy, Billy. You carry on being a good guy. Now, listen, we were talking before we went on air about traveling, and I mentioned that I've, you know, a few times that I've been to the States. I've tried to go through Dublin. I was referencing the T-shirt because I get the Guinness on the way, or the Guinness and the whiskey on the way, which is great. And you were just telling me that you have played Dublin, and that was with somebody else, wasn't it?
Yeah, for a while I mean, one of the things I do to make a living playing music is I have to do everything. I feel fortunate to be able to work in a lot of areas, although sometimes it drives me crazy. But I'll write. You know, I have a buddy in LA. We write. Sometimes I write commercials with him. We try to get stuff in commercials or little bumpers for TV shows, like Pawn Stars. They want a rock bumper. I'll rock out for them.
That's me.
Or a lot of times I produce people. I just produced a record. I'll get to your question, but I just produced a record for a guy named Pat Byrne, who won the first season of The Voice in Ireland. And he's understandably a phenomenal singer, but his songwriting is incredible. And I'm looking forward to that coming out. So we just finished that here in Nashville. But I also play for other people. And at the time when we were in Dublin, I was playing for an artist from Texas. Her name's Patty Griffin. And we did a European tour, and we played one night in Ireland. We played in Dublin and stayed in that hotel that Bono built to ease himself off of his world tours.
Oh, it must be such a strain.
Yeah. I bet. I mean, to be on tour and then to come home and have your internal life just come to a screeching halt.
Yeah.
It's like, it must be disorienting. I don't know. I've never toured for years at a time, but
a lot of musicians do talk about that side of things, actually. Just briefly, I mean, it's not an uncommon thing for a lot of musicians, especially when they've been away for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, coming home, it must be, the come down must be quite difficult. you know, to come down from, you know, fans wanting to, you know, have a piece of you every night, as it were, and you being the center of attention, to suddenly it's like, now could you peel the potatoes, please?
Yeah.
You know, to you know, not be that center of attention anymore, and you know, get back down into domesticity, as it were, in a nice way.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah, that it's not a cerebral transition that I think that a lot of people can just switch like that and go from one to the other. There must be an amount of leave me alone for a little bit just to decompress.
Yeah. I mean, I've toured for, you know, over the years. Most of the tours I've been on have been around a month long, and even a month, it's a fantasy life, you know, whether you're enjoying it or not, because I've been on tours that I didn't enjoy one night of. Some of them are nice. They're on a tour bus. You're flying. You're staying in nice hotels. Some of them you're in a van. You all have one room. Like, regardless of which one you're on, how much
That's
fun
all
you're
the
having.
tours that I ever did. Trust me.
It's fantasy, and you have a tour manager, so you have somebody holding your hand, telling you where to be, and they just lead you around like a little kid, and you're just like eating and drinking and getting adulation, and, you know, sleeping and playing video games. Like, it's fantasy. And then you come home and it's like, okay, now get up and plan your own day, grown up. And what?
No,
I have to decide what to have for breakfast and then make it. So, you know, but then you know, you hear guys, they get sick of touring because it's I guess in business you hear it a lot too. Like, people just get sick of traveling for business eventually. It sounds so romantic when you don't go anywhere.
Oh, do you know what? I'm so glad you brought that up, because I've been exactly that. So this has been really weird for me. I mean, my previous life has predominantly been out on the road, and, you know, I've over the years, you know, it's not difficult for me to rack up 80,000 miles in a car.
Wow. Yeah.
You know, go to one place to another, hotel stops, etc., get out, do something, etc. But you're absolutely right. I mean, that's the closest I've got to actually understanding, if you like, the rock and roll lifestyle. Is it is completely fantasy, because and it is incredibly lonely as well, as a lifestyle. What people do not understand is that, you know, even if you're in a small group of people, but you're in a hotel for the night or whatever, you ultimately end up alone in a room, and it's, you know, and there's nothing or nobody there, and, you know, very shortly, you know, a hotel room looks like a hotel room looks like a hotel room.
And that's all you're seeing. So you're not on vacation. You're traveling for work. So you see the inside of your hotel. You see your little strip mall. You see your little
travel down. That's it.
Corner of the city, and then you're off to the next almost exact same looking hotel, motel, strip mall place. You know, so
Billy, that's our next album. It's called Every Hotel Looks the Same.
Yeah.
we could write that. There we go. That's you stay tuned, listeners, for that one.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this album then. So you say this album felt more kind of needed, if you like, and it's partly in some ways then a response to the pandemic and everything that we've all been through, and just kind of your need to get this out. So how's that changed in terms of what you've actually written and the sound on it? I mean, it's a big album. I'd say that it's got some big songs on it.
Yeah, thank you. this album this album's musically a little different. I started in a garage band playing songs with my buddies that were on the radio, and so it was the Cars, and it was Ozzy, and it was the Fix, it was Van Halen, Pat Benatar. Like, it was just a mishmash of music.
Yeah.
We played what we could play, and it was a wide variety. The Ramones, like we would do, the Ramones, we did the Ramones early In Excess, and U2, we did U2, and it was anything we could play. And so I wanted to be a guitar player. I started out with rock and roll, basically, and then the rock got a little harder as I got older. I got into Dio and Kiss, and Kiss actually is not that hard at all. They're so poppy, but they wear the makeup. But if you listen to the songs,
it's all pop songs.
It's super poppy.
Yeah.
So it got harder, and then I went through that phase, and then I started writing songs, and more than wanting to just be a guitar player, I started wanting to write lyrics, and so I bought an acoustic guitar, and I started doing this, and then I went through that whole phase, and now I feel like I'm coming back around to the just wanting to rock out, and
but you still retain some elements of that in it.
Yeah, I mean, because it's like a natural progression, and I'm allowing myself to change with the time, change to be true to myself within whatever time period I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm able to use parts of what I've learned and experienced because of the other true moment that is no longer I don't know, it's probably still true to me, but it's not like when I hold an acoustic guitar right now, I'm like, what is this thing? I just want an electric guitar and an amp. So
yeah.
So this record, it's more rock and roll than maybe there's another record that I'm really proud of that I feel is a classic record for all time. Like, every song is good. And it's called Dear Danger. And I specifically wanted to be able to play every song on that record with an acoustic guitar for my friends. So
right.
they're all kind of oriented that way. It's more of a singer-songwriter classic rock record, and
yeah.
So, but now I'm more, I want more T-Rex. So I'm looking for more T-Rex, who is a singer-songwriter. He just
yeah.
He likes to wear makeup.
There's definitely a hint of glam in there. Yeah. But you can hear all sorts of reference points in there. A lot more sort of modern reference points, I suppose, as well, in terms of the sound. A bit of Black Keys, a bit of White Stripes in there. I mean, that you've really covered the gamut in terms of sounds across this album, which is great.
Yeah,
and it is a. Let's not get this wrong for people listening to it. I think this is quite a classic album, actually, because I think that it's a very strong set of songs.
Thank you.
But I think it actually does sound quite modern as well. I wouldn't, it's not an album where you'd go, oh, this is trying to sound pastiche of like 1970s or whatever. This does sound like a 2000s record, but it has those nods to some classic riffing. Let's call it that. Yeah.
I mean, it's really nice to hear you say that, and I as much as I can, I agree with you, and I'm proud of that fact that it has a certain uniqueness because of how fast I made it, and I didn't. When stuff is great, you know, you have to, I don't know where the greatness comes from, right? People call it a muse or the universe or the inspirational whatever. If it's great, I can go, man, that's great. You
Yeah.
know, I took part in it, but I don't do it out of ego, like, because I want everything to be great. And 60%, maybe 80, but
Yeah.
60% of what I do is not great, maybe 80. So
But you just have to,
when it's great, I have to go, wow, that's great. I can only take partial credit.
Yeah, but look, that I think that's the same for a lot of artists. You know, I think a lot of artists have to, you know, just chew through the cud, as it were, to get to the bit that's, you know, that's right. I to some extent, and you say, you mentioned the word sort of like from primordial, or sort of, you know, really sort of back to basics in terms of some of the lyrics, and sort of getting in touch with your, you know, primitive nature, if you like. I mean, some of the lyrics are quite simple, which some of them are more complex, but some of them are quite simple. I mean, Caveman Tactics, for example.
Mm-hmm.
What a great classic lyric, which is really simple. But in some ways, when you've got such a sort of base idea like that, which is so, you know, so primordial in its nature, does that actually just make the song just develop around it even better or quicker? Because it's like, I mean, I can almost hear with those lyrics in there how you just went, here's the riff, and then this that's it, that's the song.
I'm glad you mentioned that one, because that I'm really, I put a lot of work into my lyric thing, because I appreciate I appreciate the power of a word, and I don't take any one of them lightly. That one, I'm especially proud of it because of how kind of it's like a mantra. But it is. It's playing with the Groundhog Day type of feeling that I'm living right now with the pandemic and the young kids, and just like there's just no life. It's just like, so it's like get up, rinse, repeat, get up, work, repeat, you know. So, but
by the way, folks, that's the dance remix.
Yeah. So, but there's a circle that I was able to create with that chorus, and it's kind of hard to hear, but it shouldn't be. But I'm kind of deaf from playing all the rock music. But it says I light the fire, and the fire lights me.
Yeah.
I like the fire, and the fire lights me. I light the fire, and the fire likes me. I like the fire, and the fire likes me. So it goes, it's like a snake weaving through there.
Yeah.
And it just
did that
goes
take a few takes, by the way, to remember
again.
it?
Huh?
Did that take a few vocal takes to get that right, by the way? Or did it just come? You had it written down?
That came to me, but I can't, after because I have some hearing, I really do have some hearing loss from all the loud music. But so T's and S's and F's, and they're hard for me to discern one from the other. So like and light and lights, like all I hear is la 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 la. So
that's going to be used in dramatic school in years to come in terms of that lyric for pronunciation. Now, could you do the lyrics to Caveman Tactics, please?
Yes.
Very quickly.
Yep.
Enunciate. Could you enunciate this, please? That would be fantastic if it were. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you're a guitarist. Do you play other instruments as well? Do you play all the instruments on this? Yeah.
I played almost everything on on the record. A buddy of mine, I had a couple friends join in. I sent some tracks to them, but I'm always writing songs and recording, and as you can see, like, I don't know, there's a drum kit back there. Oh, you can't see. There it is. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, old Ludwig kit. So
that's good for frustration, isn't it?
I wanted stuff to. I love playing with people. I'd rather play with people almost always, but they're not around. They're busy. They have their own lives. So I just started kind of doing it myself, and I got better and better at, piano in particular, and drums and bass. So I just basically
has that been quite good for you in a way? Just I mean, as you say, you prefer to play with other people, but from a point of view of, upskilling, as it were, learning to put this all together yourself because you had to this time round. In a way, is that quite nice? In as much as even if you next time get in the studio with someone else, you may be able to go, oh, actually, I could come with a little bit more fleshed out.
Yeah.
And then let people take it on from there.
Actually, I've been playing most. I have a record called Pie that a lot of people really love. It seems to be a favorite, and that came out like 16 years ago. And I played everything on that. So I guess I've been self-quarantining for longer than I think.
Oh, brilliant! So yeah, or you've just you just decided not to use those particular set of skills for a while, and now they've had to come back out. Well, that's good. So what's the plan for this record then, in terms of at some point you want to take it on the road?
I don't even. I'm so discouraged by the forecast of what this recovery is going to be that I'm not even going there.
Right.
But yes, to play in front of people, even by myself, would probably bring me to tears, and I'm not joking.
No.
To be able to play with other people in front of people would be a dream. The Pat Byrne record we did here in Nashville, he wanted to do it he wanted it to sound live, so I got a band. I got some guys from Sheryl Crow's band that I know that live here that are just like some of the best musicians ever.
That is a good band, actually.
They're so good, and so I got a few buddies. A buddy of mine who played piano on Bad Guys, his name's John Ginty. He's a legend. He lives in New Jersey, and he drove down to be in this band. So we recorded Pat's record in 3 days. We all played live in the studio, and it was just like heaven. So I've played with other musicians once this year.
Oh, right. Now I'm going to ask you now if you've seen this. Talking about Sheryl Crow and her band, it's probably the last live music thing that I watched on TV. Mm-hmm. I've been to gigs since, but actually on TV was Glastonbury the last time it was on. Obviously, we didn't have it last year. It's not going to happen again this year. The last Glastonbury that was on, Sheryl Crow played with that band.
Wow.
Have you seen that?
I haven't.
Oh, I tell you what, look that up on YouTube afterwards. You will cry.
Yeah.
It is such a good set.
Yeah.
It really is. I mean, it is for me. It was one of the best Glastonbury sets of all time. She was absolutely phenomenal.
Wow.
And that band was just amazing. So I'm totally with you there.
Yeah, I mean, her drummer is like one of my favorite drummers on the planet. I just worked with him last weekend again, and he's just incredible. His name's Fred Eltringham, and one of the nicest dudes you'll ever meet too. But I'm friends with her, couple of her guitar players too, and they're people that are that good generally are that nice.
Yes.
They don't have any insecurity. There's no ego. There's nothing to prove. They're just as nice as they are good. So
and you know, Billy, don't you, as well? Not only are they not you know why? Not only are they that nice because they've got nothing to prove, but it's because they spent years in their bedroom learning.
Probably.
You know. So actually they're just shy people that come out on stage, right?
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
There's no ego there. Those people, to get that good at an instrument, you just spend time practicing it.
That's,
you know,
yeah.
It's a given. You know.
Yeah, you practice to get good, and what makes someone great is finding their own voice on any given instrument, and that
absolutely
that's
hard, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know if it
well, it's hard for some people.
It probably comes automatically, but I don't know. Some people have it immediately, and some people it took me. Well, it's not for me to say how long it took me, but I feel like I've had to work 10 times harder than other people.
And it's a really interesting thing. Over the years, I've done lots of different things in music. I managed bands for a while, and it's always amazed me. I managed this one band once with this guitarist who was such a technically brilliant guitarist and could replicate and copy anybody. Wow. You know, you could say, play Van Halen, he'd play Van Halen. You'd say, play that. But to try and get him to put him into a song, just couldn't get it.
It's scary to put because that's when you can get direct rejection. If it's you, I mean, there's more than just like technical ability there. It's hard to put yourself out there.
Yeah.
But I feel for you being a manager. That seems like one of the hardest jobs on the planet.
Yeah.
Did you have a good time at it, or was it?
I had a great time at it.
Oh, good.
I honestly had a great time at it. You know, and I was lucky to work with some really good bands. So that was
good.
Over the years, I've worked with some really great musicians, which was fantastic, and it always reminded me of why I'm not one. No, I am a musician in my own lunchtime, right?
Yeah.
But it, you know, I suppose to a certain extent, it reminded me of where my limitations were. Yeah. Right? You know, so when you work with really good people, you sometimes go, do you know what? I know where my limitation is. There it is there. My first band, I've told this several times now, but my first band that I was ever in when I was 14, the drummer of that band ended up as a world-class drummer. And he was actually Amy Winehouse's drummer for a while.
Oh, wow.
And he's a record producer, a drummer. He's an orchestrator. If you ever need a good orchestrator, there you go. I'll put you in touch. But I mean, just an absolutely phenomenal musician. Yeah. But you soon realize that because I was a vocalist, you soon realize that everybody, however much they were enjoying the rest of the band, were looking at the drummer.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Wow.
You know?
Yeah.
Because even when he was 10, he was just phenomenal. Yeah. You know? So there are certain people that are put on this planet to just be that good.
No doubt.
At what they do. But, you know, but I think the great thing is that, you know, and sometimes I think people get hung up on this, that some people think, well, I can't be involved in music because there are all these other people that are better than me. You know, I think it's just about finding your space within it as well. For me, I just do it for fun.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I still play guitar. I still sing. I still write songs occasionally. For me, it's fun. It's not going to be my, I'm not going to make any money out of it.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm comfortable with where I am with it. And it's, you know, it's not anything that's ever going to go away. One day I'm going to write an album and put it out there.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, the world needs music, and in my mind, everyone. I tell my daughter, she's 5, and she has great pitch and great timing already. So, and she's had it since she was 2. So, I'm like, June, maybe you'll, you know, when you grow up, maybe you'll be a singer or some, or I don't want, you know, I don't care what, I want her to be an astronaut, really. But she's like, I'm not a singer. And I'm like, everyone's a singer. Some people just get paid for it.
Yeah.
We're all experts at music. Some people just get paid for it because you know what you like, you know it makes you cry, you know it makes you want to dance, you know how fun it is to sing in the shower. Like, music is for all of us and in all of us. So,
Billy, it's the most important thing, I think, is in a happy home. Yeah, is everyone singing together.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter how good it is. I just think if you know, for people to feel that relaxed around each other, that, you know, someone will start singing, someone else will just join in, etc., etc. There's nothing better than that. That is actually better than having been there, being up on stage and in front of people or whatever. That is,
for sure.
That is just fantastic, right?
Totally.
Because you're so relaxed in music, just enjoying each other, each other's voices. I think that's a phenomenal thing. And I think I really struggle if I ever go to anyone's homes and like a kid starts singing and someone goes, shut up, shh, you know, because I just think, what? No,
I know.
Just let them sing. They're singing because they're happy, right?
Yeah. I will say, going back a bit, something that makes this record really different is that I had fun making it, and it kind of gets away from me. It's been a long time, you know. No matter what you do, sometimes it just feels like work, and you try to you got to find, you got to know why you're doing it. If you have a reason, then figure out how to say, I'm doing this for this reason, and so that makes it satisfying. It's a means to an end, or it's because I love it or whatever. But, you know, I say I love music, but I'm not always having fun. I'm just trying to get a bill paid, and that, you know, I feel fortunate whether I'm having fun or not. I do feel fortunate, but this Bullseye record was fun, and you know, I find myself saying this. I'm quoting. I might be quoting myself because I don't remember hearing it before, but I've been telling people, because I work with a lot of musicians, and now I say, fun to play, fun to hear. Yeah, because it's kind of like it's infusing whatever you're doing with how it's going to be received. So, you know, it's almost like whistle while you work. Like Snow White said it first. Yeah.
Yeah, I can whistle. Yeah. And I would say this is a really good, fun listen. All right. So anyone wondering whether they should have a listen to this album, do, because it will put a smile on your face one way or the other.
Yep.
I think absolutely put a smile on your face one way or the other. There is some, hate using this term, but stonking tracks on there that will actually, you know, you will tap your foot and you will end up singing along to some of them as well. Yeah. Which is great. There's you've got some sing-alongs on this one, Billy, which is always a good thing for people. And have to say the album artwork is tremendous as well. I can see you ending up with that as a tattoo. I can see you like your tattoos, either that as a tattoo, or at very least a t-shirt. That will make a tremendous t-shirt.
I'll probably try to get that going. I'm trying to put out vinyl records of it, and I've honed the artwork a little bit. It's still the mandala. The most important thing about it, I cleaned up the background a little bit for the LP, but that thing could go on a t-shirt.
That thing on a t-shirt, that's a winner. That's a great design. Right.
Thank you.
Yeah, you see. So I think we're we sorted the merch already. So that's tremendous. Listen, my friend, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. I could probably talk to you for hours. And let's come back and reconnect at some point along the line.
That'd be great.
Because who knows where where this year's going to go.
I'll meet you at the Dublin airport.
Hey, what a great idea. We'll never get out of there. You do realize that. me and Billy will be, clambering onto the plane after 6 pints of Guinness. Did you, when you went to Dublin, did you have Guinness in Ireland as well, or not?
I did. Yeah,
you did. It does taste different, doesn't it?
It was. I would say yes, but I was so caught up in the euphoria of the legendary place that I found myself in. So
it's an amazing place. Ireland is an amazing place. And I guess for you, quite special as well, in a way, going back to where your mother came from as well, and connecting in that way. So look, over the years, there's a bit of Irish in you, Billy, and it's a little bit of the Irish rebel has come out in this record as well. So that's really good. Thank you very much for talking to me today. I'm now going to have to go bankrupt and go back and listen to all of your other albums.
Dear Danger is a good one after this.
So there you go. That's the way to go. If you want to get hold of Billy's music, it's all on Bandcamp, or is it available anywhere else?
It's available everywhere else, actually, everywhere. Right. But Bandcamp is cool because Bandcamp really supports musicians, and
I was going to say anywhere where you actually pay for it. It was really good. Yeah, I always have to get that one in there. I mean, streaming it's fine, but it doesn't pay the bills.
It's tough. It's tough.
Yeah. But if you Bandcamp's great. I love the thing for me with Bandcamp is I like the way it's curated as well. I think that's great. There's a lot of fan curation on there, etc. So it's quite nice that if you do find an artist like Billy, for example, on there, it will then tell you, here's some other artists that you should listen to because you like Billy, etc. And it's from fans. It's not from the music business. And that's really good. And you can buy it, and the quality is really good off Bandcamp as well. It's all lossless stuff. So perfect. Do that, everybody. Go and check out Billy Harvey, please. And thank you so much for joining me today, sir.
My pleasure.
This will be available on Spotify for anybody that's, wants to listen whilst driving, but don't crash the car. Okay.
Yeah.
Bye for now.
All right. Bye.